this was the moment, you can see it on his face, that Dan decided he needed to get back on two wheels.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody and stained from the people who deceive me. And when they try to change, you can say no, free me.
It's so different than mine.
It's a very different, yeah. It's a very different seating position, riding position. Yeah, yeah, it is. That's what I do at the lights, I just sit there and stroke it.
Now if you've seen the last video, you know that I've recently bought a new motorbike, a Daylin Daystar 250, and I love it, it's wonderful, but sometimes riding on your own just doesn't quite give you the same joy and satisfaction as riding with someone else. So my mission was to convince Dan, one way or another, to go ahead and get himself back on two wheels. And I think that I did that initially when he got on the bike and tested it, but I still had a little bit more convincing to go. So I took him for a very quick ride.
Enjoy!
Just so that he could remember what it feels like. The Honda NSR 125. To be fair, if he's been sat there this time, I'd probably recommend draining it, and if we're going to have a look at it, it might be best just to unlock it, wheel it out, have a proper old peek. I know at this point, for Dan to get back on two wheels, we needed to either fix his bike that had been sitting there for over 20 years, that's the NSR 125 that you can see here, or we had to get him a brand new one. I was leaning towards buying a brand new one, but it's not my money, and I said that I'd take a look for him anyway, just to see if we could get this up and running. So that was plan A.
He's so sexy, look at him. So unfortunately, this was my bike that I bought back years and years ago. Had it for a couple of years, had a pretty nasty crash on it. When my eldest daughter was coming into this world, got rid of it, sold it to a friend of mine, and then he had a crash on it. And then a few years later, he got a new bike, and this sat in his garden for a few years. It then sat in his friend's garden for a few years. I then saw them on a night out, and they jokingly said, do you want your old NSR back, mate? So I said, go on then, how much? And he said, come around on Saturday and get it, and you can just have it for free. So I paid about £1,500 for it, sold it for about £1,200, and then about 4 or 5 years later, got it given back to me for free. Fortunately, I then did not look after it, and it has sat in my garden in 2 different houses. This sexy ass motherfucker here with his mane of hair has now gone and started riding again, which gave me a little bit of a stiffy, so now I must start riding. The plan is fix this bike up and ride it. If I could fix it up for under £1,000, it would be worth it. The cheaper the better really, because I could just go buy a new one. Running well, these bikes still sell for about £2,500. So it would be a complete waste to sell it for parts at this point. That wasn't happening last time. When I done it last time, as soon as I pushed it, everything stopped.
Okay,
so this is an improvement.
Yeah. Fire into that, and then that's either not hitting the start motor, or when it's hitting the start motor, tap it. Kill the battery. No. That's a bit of a ball ache.
What would that mean?
It might be that the clutch cable's disconnected, which is why it's not doing anything, that lever. If you look in there, that's where your clutch is, right? So if I pull this lever, you'll see that move, which means that your clutch cable is fine, so not the cable up, so it's the clutch itself, and that's
That made a noise, peeps.
may have even turned over. wanted to, it won't hold. But that could be the fuel. I don't want to pump a load of fuel into it and then we go, actually no, because we can't disengage the clutch anyway, so what's the point? That is going to be a problem.
But we'd need to drain it first though, wouldn't we? I also could help by pushing you, like I suggested. Do you know what the timings are for foods? Can you remind me?
No, I'm doing it.
Oh, thank God for that.
That's what I know. I'm doing the cooking.
We sort out the fuel, you sort out the tyres.
Teamwork.
Yeah! Woo!
So you got a big bump in front of his. Surely you need to be up close and personal to what you're doing.
No, because he leans forward when he rides, whereas I lean back when I ride. I'm there.
I'm sorry, this doesn't seem like a practical choice.
When I get stuck at the traffic lights, I can do this.
That's exactly it.
That's what it's there for.
Oh, is it?
It'd be interesting to see what they go for. Like in that sort of condition.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see just what we've got to work with as is now. Might also be interesting to see what it would cost you to put it in a garage and have them sort it for you.
Yeah. It's like I don't want to be caught in that thing of what I've spent £500 on it now.
Yeah.
What I've spent £800 on it now.
Yeah.
What I've spent £1,200 on it now.
Just convinced Dan to buy a new bike as opposed to fix that one up. I say I've convinced Dan, that's not true. Dan and I have convinced Dan.
We looked at the bike, looks like the clutch might be gone. Don't know how much the bike's going to cost to fix, but I can't use that bike to ride to work anyway. So, looks like I'm buying a new bike. Oh no! Oh no! So we're looking at the Keeway Superlight 125.
Just got abused by Freya.
Go on, Freya! Get her again, go on.
Oh.
Yay! But obviously being a new bike, you don't have to worry about things breaking, maintenance, you'll get a warranty with it, it'll be ULEZ compliant.
Yeah. I am so excited.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
So excited.
We'll be able to ride in tandem.
It's a lot of money, as in £150 a month, when I've been trying to cut down on my spending. But will I make up for that with saving petrol on the car if I'm just...
Absolutely, yeah. So I go into Westminster and back 3 times a week, plus I've done pottering around, and I'm probably doing about £15 a week fuel. It's nothing. It's nothing. There's no stuck in traffic. There's no, I might be late, because you're not gonna. You leave with plenty of time, and you can always make time up. Parking is so easy. Even in London, parking is just so easy.
How much did I say it was? 77 a month.
No, 87 a month.
Oh no, this one's 77 a month.
Insurance, yeah, even better. So 140.
No, I'm talking completely out of my arse. It's a deposit of £77, then it's £48 a month.
So after spending the afternoon working on the NSR and trying to figure out how to get it up and running, we discovered that the clutch was probably gone and that the tyres were staying flat and that it didn't want to actually start. I think that it was something with the starter motor. So plan A was out of the window, which left us with plan B for Dan to get a new bike, and he was looking at a Keeway Superlight 125, which would have put him on the same style of bike as my Daystar 250, which means that when we're riding around, we're going to be cruising and we're not going to have one of us on a sports bike trying to go fast and the other just getting there at a leisurely pace. Hello! Oi, oi! Thank you.
Fairly soon you'll be able to have the footage of me taking up on
Exactly, that's exactly the plan. Yeah, I made coffee by the way.
I was always going to get a new bike when I
Yeah,
always
it was good.
I like it. I
really
like the
like the
Michigan.
Lexmoto.
I like the Lexmoto. Bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be.
You're kind of already looking for other exits anyway and other escape routes.
And
So
if you're riding more carefully,
yeah,
because
exactly.
you can't
Yeah.
just